Hey, everybody. It is Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, the only time zone that matters. And we are live at Grumpy Acres. Now, Yoda's here, just can't see her right now. Yoda, come up here. Come up here and say hi. Oh, there you go. So, Yoda is here. Yoda's inside. We've got some company in town, and she's inside taking care of them. So I'm doing the live tonight by myself. I'm sorry, you guys. You're just gonna have to do without her warm and cheery personality. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got Can Squash was number one. We got my crooked little homestead, and then we got Starla Dope. Glad you guys can make it. Thanks for showing up tonight. Don't know how long this is going to go. I'm not really quite sure what we're going to talk about after the update's done. As you can see, I'm sitting outside. It ended up being a gorgeous day. The past 2 weeks, it has been raining off and on. We are soaked. Still have water staining on the ground, and it's starting to dry out. And I was just like, I want to get outside and enjoy this. In fact, you guys look at this. Let's see if I can turn this around. Look how gorgeous that day is. Joseph G, Tamara, glad you guys could make it. Beth Emily, glad you could make it too. Just telling everybody how we're doing it outside tonight, and Yoda's in taking care of some people that are in town. They're up here for the Midwest Preparedness Project Festival, and she's got to make some cinnamon rolls for the festival. So they're gonna start doing that tonight. And hey, Chuck, how's it going? I never did hear back. Did you see my my medical kit community post I put up the other day? I tried tagging you, and it never heard back from you. Big question is, do any of your kits contain whiskey and duct tape? Because I get that, and we're set for any disaster. So the I'm gonna keep the names of who are here right now. I'm not gonna mention their names. If they pop up into the chat, they can tell you what's going on. They were a big help today. They were monstrous help. Um, working on the back bedroom. I needed drywall taken out, and they had time today, and they had it done before noon, and then they helped Angela get the feet out of the truck. So I really didn't have much to do when I got home tonight, so I sat down and relaxed for a little bit. Always duct tape and whiskey close by. Absolutely, absolutely, Chuck. I know you'd have us covered, man. If you guys want the best the best homestead medical gear supplies, go check out Chuck's website, Homestead Medical. Uh, you get anything you want, man. So, what's going on around here this week? Well, aside from the rain, worked worked inside a lot. Worked on the room, got it ready to go so we could take out the drywall. I spent several hours on Saturday reboxing jars. I think I lost count of empty empty jars at about 300, 400, and I've got probably a couple hundred more I need to do. I got special totes for them to fit in, but we're getting them all together. What are you guys doing? Dogs are outside. Didn't realize they were outside. Okay, I will. I'll let them know. Too bad you didn't come up for Midwest Preparedness, because you could have told them yourself. We'll get everybody here. It starts the main. Actually, they started camping today, but the main part of the festival starts on Thursday. That's when Yoda's going to go out there, and our guests. I'm not quite sure when the guests are going out there. They're going to go out and set up. Hey, would you knuckleheads knock it off? I got a bunch of dogs fighting down here, chewing on each other. Maybe in the fall? Okay. Well, there's always a spot for you. Hey, get away from the camera, Fancy. Let's see. Had to put down another sheep. This was a weird. This was really weird, and anybody that's doing livestock can attest to this. So Monday, I had them out in the pasture, and they were grazing, and the sheep and goats decide that they need to be from one end of the pasture to the other immediately, so they go tearing across the field. It happens all the time. Well, they're running along, and the big sheep turns around and knocks this smaller sheep right in the noggin, sends him head over heels. He's laying in the grass. Speak of the devil. You said her name, and there she goes. But he's laying in the grass, knocked out cold, and I thought he was dead because I'd never really seen a sheep go out this long. So I go over there, and he wakes up, and I think I may have told you this story last week, this part of the story. But he's having seizures and stuff. Well, he gets up. I finally get him up, and he's walking around. Well, we got a bunch of rain, and he couldn't stand up in the mud because he couldn't control his forelegs. They would just splay out, and he spent all day laying in the mud and stuff because he couldn't stand up. And I told Angela, I said we got to put him down because apparently he's got brain damage. So we put him down, and we put him on ice in a cooler and let him sit for a couple of days. And then Friday and Saturday, I ended up butchering him, and we ended up getting 50, 60 pounds of meat off of him. In fact, tonight we had the capicola, which is by Billy Bond's account the best piece of meat. That's the neck strap. And Angela did a really good recipe. Figured out you need to cook it a little bit different than regular meat because there's a little bit of chewiness to it. So she's working on perfecting that. The next time we do a sheep, which is probably going to be within the next 3-4 weeks, we're going to try this again. She's going to try a different method. And I will say this, very tasty piece of meat. It is a really super tasty piece of meat, and she did a great job cooking it up. Yep, exactly. And that's one of the things, the festival starts on Thursday, and I got to work Thursday, so I'll be out there. Be out there Thursday night. We're going to try to do a men's Bible study out there. And then Friday I'll be out there, but I can't stay out there all day long because I got to come home and take care of the animals. And unfortunately, it's like an hour drive for us now. It used to be we were only 25 minutes away. Now it's an hour one way. And so I'm going to have to be very, very particular about when I go out there so I can get the maximum time out there. Oh, excuse me. Out there. Hey, All-American Prepper. Man, I was reading an article today. Apparently, an alligator made a trip through the drive-through at some bank down in Florida. I was like, yeah, only in Florida can something like that happen, man. But yeah. So the festival that if you're in the area and you can drive, you should make a day trip out there. They got some really good speakers, and the barter town is always a blast, and the potluck is it beats none, or none beat it, I should say, because it's pretty darn good. There's a lot of good cooks out there. But we did that with the sheep, and I got to tell you two things. Number one, it's the first time in a long time I had butchered anything for human consumption. Most of what I butchered in the last 2.5 years, 3 years, has been for the dogs, and I didn't care about the cuts. In fact, a lot of the times I didn't take off the bones or take out the bones or anything. This time, I tried doing a really good job at getting the cuts, and I learned that I need to work at it more. I need more practice at it. Second thing is we used more of this lamb, a bigger percentage of this lamb than I have any animal yet. We managed to get, like I said, we got 50, 60 pounds worth of meat. The dogs got another 20 pounds of organ meat and cast-offs. I fed them the lungs and the liver, and they really enjoyed that. I kept the heart and the kidney for myself. I had that for breakfast the next day. It was delicious. If you guys have never tried organ meat, or you got this adversity to it because it's organ meat, you need to rethink it. It's probably some of the healthiest meat on the animal, and if you cook it right, it's delicious. And then neighbor Chris came over, and I had a tub full of everything that was left over, and he took that over and fed it to his pigs. So that about 99% of that animal got used, which is really good, and that's what we're striving for. When we're doing things like this, we're trying to maximize how much we're getting off our property and how much we're using it for the benefit of our property and our community. You know, because the last time we did an animal, Chris came over and got that stuff, and we're buying some sausage off that pig. Are you done? Or are you just coming out to smoke the cancer stick?
I'm coming out to say hello. They're finishing up dishes and cleaning the kitchen. So I will go back in and start some meals. So
I was telling them about the sheep and how we use most of it. And how much meat we got.
Yeah, we had the capicola tonight. It's different. I got to learn how to cook that. Yes, there's something I don't know how to cook.
Well, I will say this. She did a rabbit recipe. So what we found out was a lot of these recipes, there's a lot of really good Northern Italian recipes.
Yes.
And I did not realize that rabbit is a mainstay of Northern Italian cooking. Mm-hmm. And she made
it was a stuffed rabbit, but it was with rabbit sausage.
And it was good.
It was good.
But I will say this, the capicola, even though it didn't.
You like this? Well, you like the flavor of this stuff?
I like the flavor of this one better.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I used different herbs. I went into the herb garden and got some stuff. I used summer savory, mountain savory, sage. What else did I use? Some other stuff. I just grabbed stuff. It smelled good, so that's what I used. And then sweet onion, the purple onion.
Yeah, the purple onion.
Yeah.
Yeah, rabbit is delicious.
Yeah.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
We did not eat enough of it when we had rabbits, and she's getting ready to jump the fence again. There she goes. Hang on a second, guys. Hey, Fred, go get the goats and sheep. Boom, she just took off like a rocket. Both of them, they're racing each other.
They've been doing it all day. Yeah, she's back in.
She's back in.
So, but yeah, no, I'm tired. We did a lot.
Yeah.
We did a lot today. So Skanes and Jonathan have been here, and
well, I wasn't gonna tell them who was resident with them, so if they were here or not.
Oh, they're jumping in to say hello, but they're here, and we tore out the drywall in that room, got that done, got it hauled out to the burn pile, and then we got feed. We got the feed unloaded, got it put away.
And prices went down, you said.
Prices went down
by like $30 a ton. Or
yeah.
Half ton.
Yeah, no, a ton. I got a ton, or I know it would be half
ton. You got
half ton. Yeah. And then we did. What else did we do today? Oh, we made babka. Yeah, we made babka. Oh, with one of them is with Carrie's jerky jam. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! And the other one we used the cheesecake flush. Even better.
So babka's kind of a.
It's a bread. You put a stuffing in it, and then you roll it up, and then you cut it.
What kind of bread is it? Is it white bread?
Well, this one was white bread. Yeah. And so then put that on there and then glazed it with honey. Ooh, it was good. Really good. So, but yeah. And then on to cinnamon rolls.
Oh, we're looking. Oh, wait until y'all see what I got the camping for. Okay.
Got the camping for.
Got for camping.
Oh.
Yeah. Talking like what if she is.
So Cindy said, you should just go out there and throw your voice so that Yoda can be heard. It's like, no, silly girl. Yeah. But yeah, so we got a lot done today. So I was shocked. But my kitchen looks a disaster. With 3 cooks in there.
This is a lesson about community. More hands make less work.
Oh yeah, it only took us like 15 minutes to unload that feed.
Yeah, and it usually, if I do it by myself, it's an hour. If we do it together,
it's 30 minutes.
It's 30 minutes, and 3 of them got it done in 15.
Yeah, it was great.
You know, and it works exponentially, you know.
Yeah.
But so, what else went on around there?
When this week or today?
I told them about all the rain.
Yeah.
You didn't do that video like I asked you.
Which video?
I emailed you the script for a little 30-second video.
Totally didn't see it.
Okay.
So I'll have to go in and look. It's going to have to wait till after campfire.
You don't have to put. You just film Film yourself reading the script. Don't worry about.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I need you to do.
We'll see.
But we had power outages, and so we dealt with that. Got the property mowed, the bamboo, and I still got to get over there. I started a video on Saturday and was 20 minutes into it, and God basically told the camera to stop working because it still had battery, but it kept locking up and it wouldn't work. And I said, well, I guess I'm being told I need to go do something else. So I went in and did some work inside. You know, we it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice this year because the past 2 years it's been cleaning up, and that's all we've been doing. And you know, we haven't been able to do a lot of homesteading stuff.
I got a lot of stuff planted. I did a lot.
You know, and it's nice this year because it's starting to feel like we're getting back into this homestead thing. Now we still got junk that needs to be picked up. We still got a bunch of infrastructure that needs to be built, but we're starting to do homesteading stuff. We got not one but 2 chicken gardens in, which I need to fence one of them. We've managed to get plants past the point where the goats and sheep try to kill them. There for a little while, it seemed like the goats and sheep, their sole
on purpose.
Yeah, the sole purpose in life was to deny us food. That's what it literally seemed like.
Yeah.
Hey, Gregory.
Hey. You guys coming up this weekend?
Hello. Been watching the tornado chasers in Michigan and Indiana. Damage reported Michigan near Kalamazoo.
Yeah, we had one. It wasn't Geary County. It was just east of Manhattan, I think.
She just jumped again.
It was just east of Manhattan, I think, and
Fred.
It was 1.5 miles wide, and I'm not quite sure how far it went, but it's pretty devastating. So enough that they went ahead and called state of emergency for Kansas.
Look at that. She heard him bark. She's all the sheep is all the way down at the other end of the fence, and Fred just barked right up here by the loafing shed, and she jumped the fence because she knew what was coming.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's been interesting, but last night it seemed like the storms kind of went around us, so it was good.
It rained a little bit.
A little, not a lot.
You know,
Did you check the rain gauge? Did you see exactly how much?
We only got like half an inch here. They said we didn't get much here. Okay. You know, but
that puts us with a half inch, and then plus the quarter that we got, that puts us almost 6 inches. Yeah. For a week.
Well, and our pond has about a foot worth of water in it now. It was completely dry.
Yeah.
And all the stock ponds around the area are filling up. Mm-hmm. And so we've got this creek that runs back behind the house, and it runs back off to the west, up the hills. And they built a bunch of retention ponds, you know, drainage ponds to capture all this water. And when you drive by, you can actually see how the ponds follow the course of the rainwater. Mm-hmm. And all those are topped off now. Mm-hmm. And they've been down a good 3 or 4 feet. I think I was talking with Tag, and he said that his was up to the spillway. You know.
I'm hurting. I'm stretching. So.
Did your Klinger tea not help?
You don't know how much pain I was in. I almost didn't make it up the stairs at the co-op today. It was pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, I was hurting. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to walk. But so I've done a lot. I've had everybody throwing more different kinds of medicines and stuff at me. But I think excuse me. I think an Epsom salt bath will work tonight. So we'll see how that works out. I just need to get more magnesium in. So, all right. Well, I just wanted to stop by and say hello, and I'm sure they only have 2 dishes left, so I'm sure that's done. And
well, Skin's in here talking.
Well, she's dropping in to say hello. I can hear her talking in there, Jonathan. So, but anyway, so it was good seeing y'all, and hopefully we get to see a lot of you at camp this weekend. So,
yep.
All right, I'll be out there Thursday. So, well, I'll be out tomorrow setting up, dropping stuff and setting up, but Thursday will be the day that I'm there.
Are you staying Thursday night?
Yeah, I'll stay Thursday night. We're gonna go ahead. Skanes and I are gonna come out for dinner. She's gonna drive.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Were you going out there?
I was going out there.
Okay, we'll talk about it because Jonathan thought that he was also staying down there and not going to dinner, so we just need to figure that out. But anyway, bye guys.
They're in there talking. So yeah, not sure if you're gonna be able to make it. Well, if you can, you know where it is. It's there at the it's at Clinton Lake. You can go on the Midwest Preparedness Project website and let me see. Do I have that here? Yes, right there it is. Um, you guys can go on there and get the address for the campground. It's a little bit closer to some conveniences than the other place. Like I said, it's almost an hour drive. Actually, it's over an hour drive from here, which kind of puts a kink in everything. But we'll we'll deal with it. We'll get it figured out. But okay, so we talked about the sheep. We talked about them helping around here. Um, Doing cleanup in back. I reached a point. One thing I figured out was that room that we're working on has a tilt to it, and it goes back to the fact. Where's your sister, Dolly? It goes back to the fact that metal building is 20 feet across, and they used a single 2x8 joist. That's what they did. They didn't double any up, and the only support for that entire 20-foot run is a beam that runs right down the middle of the house. So you've got two 10-foot spans with uh, no support in them, and it was built in 1953. So as you can imagine, between bug damage and just time, they've started to sag. So I have to go in there now that the wall's been cleaned off. I'm going to go in there sometime in the next week underneath the house, jack it up, block it, and put some bracing in there so that it's not falling in on itself. And then I'll jack the middle up too. I'll jack that main beam up because they just ran it. They ran two by tens, sandwiched them together, and then they just put cinder blocks underneath them. So that main beam goes across like this, and that's you can see it in the floor. Um, well, that means you just got to come out and camp Friday night. Leave late enough on Friday that you can get here and camp Friday night and spend half a day on Saturday, and then go home. Put the animals on autopilot for half a day if you can, or if you got somebody that can help you. That's our problem. All our help that watches the house when we do festivals, they're all going to be down there at the camp out. Yeah, Skane says it's closer than her. Unfortunately, I don't have any room for you and Susie in the house like we do Skane's this weekend. I ain't gonna lie. Like, and that stupid sheep. That's the third time she's jumped out since we started this 23 minutes ago. And hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna yell right quick. Let me mute this so you're not getting. Where is it? Give me 1 second. I'll tell you what. I'll give that sheep credit where credit's due. She is extremely persistent. Let's get this camera back. Okay. But yeah, and and eventually, hopefully everybody can get down there at some point. If you can't make it in the spring, plan out in the fall. Uh, Always a good time. Oh, let's see. What's the local doings? Well, there's actually some law enforcement activity up the road Sunday night. Still don't know what that's about. This week's paper's not out, so we haven't been able to see the blotter. Nobody really knew what was going on, but they said that it was the local city police, the sheriff's department, the tribal police, which is across the road, which there's been some legal stuff going on, not with the tribe I work for, but with another tribe. And if they're involved, chances are it may have something to do with that. I'm just speculating, so Don't take that as gospel, okay? So there's been that. So yes, even if you live out in the country, you still have problems. It's just part of the culture that we live in. All right. Question is do you want to live someplace where it's happening all the time, or do you want to live someplace where it is something that occurs occasionally and is a novelty, not a something that's constant, right? I'll take living in the country for 800, Alex. You know, and I was thinking about that yesterday. As a matter of fact, all the craziness that's going on the campuses, man, we don't have to deal with that stuff here. We don't have to. We just that, and it's not that there aren't liberals out there. There are liberals that live in the community, the larger community, right? I think everybody in our community is at the worst. Worst isn't right. You know, at the end of the spectrum is libertarian and conservative. But yeah, there are liberals, and we hear from them. We hear from them. Tag a couple of years ago was trying to do a freedom concert out here, and Uncle Si was supposed to come out. He got sick, and I don't remember if Ted Nugent was going to be here for that one or not, because he's a spokesman for EMP Shield. So we got kind of an in. We got kind of an in with him. But I don't know if he was going to be here, but they announced that they were going to do it, and the liberals came out of the woodwork in the community and just basically told Tag, now you guys, chances are you've seen Tag's lives, and you know what the person you see on his lives or what you see or what you get in real life, or you've actually met him in person, and he was the worst person in the world for about 2 months to the liberals around here, because he was bringing all these hateful people in. Hey, Dolly. Deer are starting to come out. Okay, let's see what we got. What Gregory? We were gone from the place the other day, and some of the calves were out on the road. The neighbor came over and got them, put them back, thankfully. Yeah, they'll do that. The animals seem to look for ways to get themselves killed. Hey, Grateful Hearts, how's it going? Uh, but where was I? Cows killing themselves. Oh, and just dealing with the craziness, and I feel for the people that live around where these riots are taking place, because most of those students. I'll tell you what, I said this on somebody else's live the other day, and I'm going to repeat it here. If you are a parent of a child that's getting ready to graduate, or you're related to somebody who's getting ready to graduate, or even if you know somebody that's getting ready to graduate, I would tell them, chances are they're better served taking the money that they would spend on college and go learning a trade, going to a trade school and learning a trade. And I guarantee you that at the end of their career, they will have made more money and be more successful than had they gone to college and gone $80,000 in debt. Those people at Columbia are spending 80 grand, or I think basic tuition there was $63,000 a year. I so that's mine. That's my take on it. Man, spend that money and go learn a trade. That way you've got something that actually helps society. And don't get me wrong, if you've gone to college and you've got your degree, I'm not bagging on anybody that did that. I went to college for a year and a half. Well, I attended college for a year and a half. I only went to college for about a semester. But it just, some people it's not cut out for, and that's probably um, the biggest thing that they have done wrong for kids and parents, the counselors, is getting everybody to think that they need to go to school. I mean, and when I was in high school, that was the thing. You went to college to become successful. But at the same time, learning a trade was not a bad thing. Now learning a trade is a bad thing for a lot of people. They look down at people like that. I expected a live stream from the storm shelter tonight. Glad to see you got on. Hey, it did not rain. We were talking about it earlier. It did not rain very hard here last night, and the weather turned off nice. It was chilly and foggy this morning. It was in the 50s. Um, but it got up to 70s. It's probably still in the 60s right now. Um, but it's the sun's starting to go down, so it's going to get a little chilly. Oh, Carrie, I forgot to tell you. So Angela and Jonathan made banca bread, something like that. But they used they made a savory bread by using your jerky dip in it, and Angela said it's off the charts good. And then they used your cream cheese, the cream cheese stuff that you had too, in the other one. So they got a sweet one and a savory one. So yeah, 600 miles. And the thing is, she's not going to be the one that traveled the furthest to get there this year either. So I would. That's what I'd tell them. In fact, I'd say that's everybody's homework is to see how many kids you can uh, talk into foregoing college and going learning stuff. And All American has while people were going to school, I was busy learning stuff. Yeah, and you know my experience with my peers was different than a lot of people because I ended up, the people I went to school with ended up being executives and international lawyers and stuff. But it was also a private school and um, had the RTC program. Went to school with a guy that was deputy director of TRADOC for the entire Army, which is a big position, in charge of all the training and indoctrination for the Army. HG, learn a trade or two. Don't have to do it for life, but you'll have it for life. Absolutely. That's my son. I could have killed him. If he gets on here, I'm gonna tell this story, and I hope if I embarrass him, tough. So he figured out that college was not for him. Good for him. And he said he wanted to be a diesel mechanic. And this is a lesson for these young kids. He made it to 4 weeks from graduation as a diesel mechanic and get his certification. And he just decided he didn't want to do it anymore. He was working, and I think part of it was he was working for a guy that ran a garage that was kind of a dick. I'm gonna be honest with you. And then the people he was working with were all ex-cons and stuff, and that was outside the school. And I think that just turned him off to it, man. And he's admitted since then. He said, "Yeah, I probably should have gone through and gotten my certification because that way I've got it." Just like HG said, you never lose that. And he still knows how to mechanic stuff. He rebuilt not one but two. Well, I think he rebuilt one motorcycle and he sold the other one off because he didn't want to finish it. He needed the money for something else. HG's got the instigator moniker now. He's gonna go crawl back in his hole. Well, stick around, HG. Some good conversations tonight. Look at that. Jonathan's out here working now. He's cleaning up drywall as I'm sitting on the live. Next time he goes by, I'm going to tell him he doesn't need to do that. Then I'll do that. But and all the stuff that's going on, and I've said this on this live before, and I've kind of had a change of heart a little bit on this. For the longest time, I said I would not tell a kid to join the Army. I don't know if a draft is going to come or not, but if a draft is coming, the best thing a kid could do is join the Army ahead of it, and that way he's not stuck in that whole paradigm of being a draftee, and you'll get better promotions being ahead of everybody else that's just coming in as an inductee. And I hate to say it, 50-50 chance that the draft comes. It really, it honestly, it honestly seems as though the powers that be want to get us into a war. Have a grandson that is going to school for a machine shop tech. As it goes, you know the one. You know that the skill I wish I would have learned was welding. I think I may have said that already, but I really wish I would have learned how to weld properly and become a underwater welder. That those guys make a lot of money. They make more money than pipeline guys. You know, so my attitude has changed. I'm still not 100% sold on the military being what it should be. There's been some things happening the past month or two that kind of gives me hope. They've kind of changed. You notice they went away from all the woke commercials and they started doing warrior commercials again, which is a huge change. Yeah. But if you join and no draft, yeah, that's the downside. That's the downside. You know, and the reason why I've come to this conclusion. I've been reading a lot of history recently, and a couple of biographies, and these guys, uh, you know, we didn't join the war until 1942, but there were guys in 39 that knew it was coming and they joined, and so they ended up being, you know, senior leaders in the military as it started to expand, and that's kind of where I'm coming from. Um, you know, it's just one of those things. At that, and they don't have, as far as I know, they don't have the jab thing anymore. Although I will say this, they're probably going to sneak it in on those guys. To be honest with you, they're going to try sneaking it on us. I was just watching a video today where Bill Gates, um, evil man, was talking about how they'd done so many advances with the mRNA that he said that it some of it is even uh, how do you put it? Not self-replicate, self-assembling. That they've got mRNA that will self-assemble once it's inside your body, and it's evil, you know. But they're going to push it. They're pushing it. That, you know, we've talked about it being in the food. There's a huge scare program going on about the avian flu, and in the past 2 weeks, it has jumped from birds to cows to pigs to mice to dogs, and they even said some guy in Pennsylvania, I think it was, got it. You know, yeah, you know, if it weren't so if the repercussions of the government deciding to do that were not so disruptive and potentially deadly, it would be funny. It would be laughable, and it's all a effort to control us. It is. It's the beast trying to control people, and we know we know what they've done so far to try to control people, and the thought of what they are probably willing to do should scare the snot out of everybody. If you could sit down and think about the worst conspiracy theory and the worst thing you can think of, chances are there's somebody in the government that is contemplating it, which is just scary. Yeah, fear tactics. Fear tactics. They're trying to scare people. That's the best way to do it. And if you look, it's aimed at the food supplies. You can see all kinds of stuff coming out about how deadly the food supply system is. You know, the food we're getting is full of chemicals. The animals aren't any good for the environment. And they're finding, don't stick your nose on that. You're going to end up shocking yourself. Fancy's trying to lick the extension cord. Hey, get out of there. But you know, they're gonna do something. They have to do they have to do something to maintain control, and what that may be could be very scary. I'm glad I'm not in the military. Just pulled my sidearm out to clean. Ugh, I can imagine if a superior saw it. Yeah, I'm with you. I pulled my conceal and carry out the other day and was like, ugh. It had a bunch of lint on it, and I broke one of the wings off the back sight somehow, and replacement. I've been meaning to get replacement sights for it anyway, but the replacement sights are like $70 a piece. Luckily, I can do that. I've got all the tools to fix that myself. But coming up to $65, especially, I got to fix the skid loader and fix a whole bunch of other stuff here. You know, so money. Like I said last week, it's a good problem to have stuff that can break, right? I'd rather have stuff that could break than not have anything to my name. Hey, stay over here. Yeah, between the dogs and the sheep, man, you gotta keep my head on a swivel. That and there's something else that everybody needs to be thinking about. You know, we talked about how the ATF is willing to kill people to maintain control, um, and you guys need to get out and you need to start practicing, start learning. Not learning. You should already know the manual of arms for your weapons. That you need to be out there practicing, and even if you're not putting any rounds downrange, you can dry fire, get oh gosh, what are they called? Caps. You get caps. They're fake bullets that you can stick in your gun, so your firing pin isn't slamming all the way down and potentially damaging it. You can get all this stuff to help you become more proficient without firing. In fact, uh, I was listening to some big time instructor, and he said that for every round that he shoots down range, he does 1,000 draws and dry fires. So it's a matter of just uh, learning how your weapon behaves as it comes out of the holster and being snap caps. That's right, snap caps. Um, how it behaves when it comes out of the holster and how you manipulate it. I mean, that's part of the battle. And always remember this. In fact, I was watching the Fat Electrician did a video about a month ago about Ching Li, who was he ended up being the Navy's head of readiness before World War II, and then he was a battleship commander. But he won 7 medals at the 1938 Olympic or 1932, the one that Jackie Robinson was at, 36. He won 7 medals at that Olympic in shooting, 5 gold. I'm sorry, 8. 5 gold, 2 bronze, or 2 silver and 1 bronze. But he made the comment that was slow is fast, fast is good. Basically, is what he said. That's not what he said. That was the intent. Same thing that Wyatt Earp. If you got 2 of the best gunslingers in the world telling you that you need to go slow and slow is fast, then you need to listen to them. You need to practice, 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 practice. Absolutely. Let's see here. What's Phil R say? Milking everyone's banking out to dry to leave no hope. Just keep the faith. Absolutely. See, Phil, you just said something. You just said that gets under my skin, and you guys can thank Trauma Bob for that. It's not muscle memory. It's a conditioned reflex because muscles don't have memory. I understand the whole idea behind the muscle memory, but we had a friend of ours, Trauma Bob. I think I told you this last weekend. Trauma Bob used to get so upset. He was a trauma doctor, one of the best in the region. And anytime somebody would say muscle memory, muscles don't have memory, blah 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 blah. So we used to tease him about it, but I started thinking about it. He's right. It's a conditioned reflex, is what it is, and it's controlling your muscles absolutely. So you could call it muscle memory, but there are people that it will drive you nuts. Also disassemble, clean, and lube mags and spray. Absolutely. Well, and that's just part. That's part. They did a survey, and something like 95% in the people, 95% of the car owners that they contacted said that they put maintenance off, and to the point where it causes problems down the road. And I'm guilty. I've got a flat tire that needs to be fixed, but I don't want to pay the money to get it fixed for another couple of weeks. So I've been putting it off. Same thing with guns. Hey, RN, what's up? Same thing with guns, same thing with tools. Doing that preventive maintenance schedule on it is a must. I've got some rifles that I haven't. Well, they've been safe queen since we got here, and I really need to get them out and clean them and lube them up and maybe put some rounds down range to them. You know, trying to make sure they work properly. And worst thing you can do is reach for a tool, and I'm talking about guns, but it's any tool, chainsaw, anything, a socket set, a drill. But reaching for a tool and not having it work when you need it is a terrible, terrible thing. Let's see. I was a hockey goalie. I've been hitting the head a lot. Yeah, I was a football player. I know the feeling. Probably had more. Probably got no more TBIs playing football than I did the whole time I was in the Marine Corps. Of course, I was never in combat, so I didn't get knocked around except whenever we were wrestling around and doing training or something. But so get on that preventive maintenance. It just and it's their skills. Preventive maintenance is skills, and you can exercise them and get something beneficial out of it. Excuse me 1 second. Go get him. Go get the goat. Go get the sheep. Go get her. Don't look at me. Them dogs. Oorah back. Oorah back at Glen. Still, we had so many Marines at Self Reliance Festival. I told Scully that we could depose John Willis and make him the ruler of SOE if he wanted to, and he's like, nah, I don't want to. I don't want that responsibility. I said, spoken like a true Marine. Spoken like a true Marine. That E4 Mafia. Except in the Marine Corps, we didn't have it wasn't E4 Mafia. It was the E3 Underground is what we called it. They may call it the Mafia now. I don't know. But those are the guys. Those are the guys. The highest rank you could be without being an NCO, and they're the ones that you turn to get all the shady stuff done. Make it a weekly thing. Tuesdays, watch Grumpy and clean things. Yep. Yep. Well, what am I going to do? Who am I going to watch to clean things? Gregory got the weed eater out and took a while to get it running after last year. And I had the lawnmower sat out all winter long, and I ended up calling Darren because it wouldn't start, and I was like, okay, hold on. We talked a little bit, and I said, let me try this and let me see. And like I said, I wasn't prideful proud, that I was just pleasantly pleased that I managed to get the thing running, and it's running perfectly fine. It's not. It may have a seal leak on the engine, may have a little oil, but I can't tell if that's where I spilled it or if it's actually leaking. So, and she just jumped over the fence again. Hey, Freya, you want to go get her? Go get her. God, that sheep is persistent. She is. Dolly, I see him out the window and they're out of the fence, and I just open the fence and tell the dogs to go get them. And she went out she startled that sheep one day, and that sheep cleared a 4-foot fence, and it leaped probably 20 feet through the air as it cleared that fence. It was crazy. Never seen a sheep jump that far. Could do a live from the grandma room, but everybody would fall asleep. What are they gonna? They gonna live vicariously through you in the grow room. Let's see. I run everything dry now at the end of the year. No problems on spring startups. Yeah, our problem out here. Our problem here is batteries. I don't know if it's the quality of the batteries nowadays. The one in the lawnmower was from 2019. So yeah, I understand why it died. But I got a couple more that died too. The winters the past couple of years here have been just brutal on batteries, and You know, I've had a couple of batteries that only lasted one season because they sat out there. And unfortunately, I don't have electricity out in the outbuilding, so I can't pull the stuff and put them on a charging rack um, all winter long. So they sit out and they get ruined in the wintertime. And I was talking to the guys at O'Reilly, and they said, yeah, it seems like there's a whole lot of people replacing almost brand new batteries because of that. Hang on a second, guys. Frey's down romping around by the pond now. I don't want him to come back all muddy. But yeah. Oh, so I come out. Squirrel moment. Uh, Came out of the house this morning. I'm looking out across the field, and I see something. I thought it was one of the goats out in the tree line on the side of the property, and turned out to be a buzzard. It was sitting on a log that's down, and it had stretched its wings out. And we got these buzzards here that are huge, and got the binoculars out, and I had Skeens and Jonathan confirm that what I was seeing. I got the binoculars out, and I managed to walk over there. I got within about 50, 60 yards of it before it noticed me. But they've been hanging around here. I think we got a. I'm not gonna lie. I think something opened up the hole that I put one of our sheep in, and I think they've been going down there and grazing on it. But batteries made today are crap, no matter who makes them. Yeah, and they're more expensive. How's that? How's that for a kick in the pants? HG says I got those little 10-watt solar panels with charger box, solar trickle charger. So far works great. Don't need power out there. Use them. So you just put them directly out when they're sitting out. They got to be outside because they're getting solar power. Um, so yeah, you put them in the cab. See, none of my stuff's got a cab. Everything's exposed to the elements. But it's a good idea though. It's a fantastic idea. Get those little solar chargers and put them in your vehicles. I mean, even your car, even your daily driver, doing that's a good idea. Um, you know, we just gotta. It's we're to the point now. You know, and I am super guilty of this in the past. You know, our society is a throwaway society, and we're to the point now that we can't be like that anymore. It's just getting too hard to find replacement parts. Darren and I burned out a angle grinder working on that room, cutting a piece of metal out of the wall so I could get the window in. And Darren was like, "Yeah, you know, we'll find bushings for it and we'll get it going again." You know, because I went and I bought it. I bought a new angle grinder because I couldn't find my second one, which I found the day after I bought the new angle grinder. But I wanted an 8 amp instead of a 6 amp or a 4 amp. So I wanted something a little bit stronger, you know. And what was stupid, oh God, this was so dumb. I was cutting that piece of metal out, and it walked back on me, and it jammed the cutting wheel up, so it seized the engine, and that's what caused it. And I was 2/3 of the way through cutting this piece of metal, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Because I couldn't find my other one, so I was like, I found a metal blade for the sawzall, and I hit that thing with the sawzall, and it had taken me like 5 minutes to get as far done as I was. I was done cutting it off in like 30 seconds. So from um, here on out, it's the sawzall whenever I'm cutting the metal on the other. There's a flange, there's a little flange at the top of the window that held the old windows in that I got to cut out, or nothing sits flat against the wall. One morning we had 20 of them sitting on top of the fence post. What a sight! Hope they weren't waiting for me. Absolutely, Angela's been freaking out because with the weather being like it has been, the thermals where we live are fantastic for the birds to fly on, and so they'll just hang it over our property, you know. And she was like, God, I hope they're not here for one of our animals or something like that. But But they're part of the ecology. We had a place. There was a pond on the way into town where we used to live over in Missouri, and it had this old dead tree, and it was like a dead tree from a Halloween decoration type of dead tree. That's what it looked like. And sure enough, go by there, there'd be 10, 15 vultures sitting in that tree, just staring at you as you went down the road. It was actually kind of creepy, to be honest with you. But like I said, they're essential. Now we lost a mirror on the truck because Angel actually hit one with the truck, and it like blew the mirror off the truck. So they can be a pain in the butt. Oh, what else is going on around here? If you live in Pennsylvania, I talked about this on Rescues Live. I included him about it. They are advancing a bill that's going to the Senate in Pennsylvania. It's a Dem-sponsored bill that they want to be able to process mail-in ballots before the election. And anybody that thinks that's a good idea does not care about election integrity, especially if it's promoted by the Dems. The Dems will not promote any election laws, rules whatsoever, unless they benefit the Dems. And I'm just going to say this: they are trying to legalize the cheating. I'm not saying anything happened in the last election, but they're definitely going to try it this one. Because they got away with it once, they're going to try to get away with it again. It's our responsibility. Now, I'm not going to do this, but if you've got time and you've got the wherewithal, be a poll watcher. Get involved locally. Even if you're not going to cast a vote for either one of the people at the top of the ticket, you need to make sure you get out there and vote locally, because that's where the politicians have more impact on your life. I got to go check some things before dark. Susie will be hanging around though. Okay. Well, be safe out there. It's that time of year. There's critters out there that like to bite and sting. But so we need to be vigilant about that stuff. And I was reading another article. The South Carolina DHHS, Department of Health and Human Services, pointed out the 1993 Voter Something Act that they passed in '93 has a provision in there that any agency that provides aid of any sort, any state agency that provides aid of any sort, this is in the Federalist, so you can go read it today, has to act as a voter registration site, and they have to provide people with the ability to register to vote. Everybody. So that means that we've got these agencies that are, if they're actually following the rule, I kind of got the impression that was one of those things that a lot of agencies weren't following because they didn't know about it. But the Biden administration has been enforcing it. These agencies are handing voter registration cards, applications to illegal immigrants. And the one lady that they interviewed and they got a quote from said that they had people that were in the country illegally asking their translating, the people that are translating, do I need to fill this out? And these people are going, no, you're illegal. You can't, you're not a citizen. You can't do that. Sorry, I got goats and sheep down there hanging out by the fence. But so yeah, they're making a major push, and if you're under any illusion that the whole reason why they have allowed the border to be wide open, it's not through incompetence, it's through maliciousness, and they are looking to. Where are you going? Oh, sure.
Oh no!
Rosie's in here. You should show.
I got her shirt on.
Yeah, Rosie, Skanes has got your shirt on. Made it late. Better than not at all. Yep. Randy, glad you could make it. We were just talking about the upcoming election, and we were talking earlier about being prepared and stuff. And this is this upcoming election, I'm probably going to repeat this every week until the election happens. You guys need to be prepared because they've started activating. They've started activating Antifa. In fact, there was just an article about them having ads out for Antifa medics. So that means they're going to ramp that up. They are vilifying and demonizing people that do not follow the party line. Maxine Waters, I don't know if you caught the craziness she was talking about, how Trump is in league with all these militias that are up in the hills training, and the DOJ needs to find out who what communities these people are going to attack if Trump loses. They're full court pressing lawfare against him. They're trying to get him thrown in jail for doing stuff. In fact, the thing that happened in the hush money case was Stormy Daniels. Apparently, I didn't read the article. I just saw the headlines. Apparently, was a complete disaster for the prosecution and admitted to falsifying business records, i.e., fraud, which is exactly what Trump is in there for. So we're going to see if Miss Daniels gets brought up on charges by Alvin Bragg, But they're going all out, and when the election does happen, no matter which side loses, one of the sides is going to lose their minds. So we need to be prepared. And I am not advocating violence. I am not saying that is the solution. What I'm saying is we need to be prepared in case that is something that we have no other choice but to be involved in. It's better to practice and train now and prepare now than to be caught flat-footed and not have anything ready to go. They're going to let illegals vote, and they're going to try to draft them. Yeah, they've already floated that one too, and any state that allows that to happen just tells you exactly which side they're on, and I'm not sitting here drawing lines of demarcation. What I am saying is I'm going to go back to there are two ideologies in this country, two nations. There's the American nation that believes in the Constitution, and the American nation that believes that the Constitution is corrupt, racist, and everything, and they can't survive in the same space at the same time. It can't happen. We've been walking this tightrope for so long. People think it's normal, and it's not. Historically, it doesn't happen that way. Lynn's out there making money, managing wealth. What was this week for everybody that didn't watch your video? What was the book you did this week, Lynn? That people should go read. Guys, go out and check out Blue Wolf, and check out his series about becoming wealthy and managing your wealth. Fancy, get your nose out of there. Let's see. I'll be heading your way late Thursday, early Friday. Just waiting on my ride. I have to work until Thursday, and that sucks. Yeah, I got to work too. Oh, hang on a second. Hey, you two, get away from the camera. So Fancy's still a puppy, and what was that? And she plays with Freya like she's a chew toy, and Freya is so stupid that she just loves it, and she'll let Fancy chew on her, and then here comes Dolly. Dolly's got the stink eye on. Dolly and Fancy do not get along all the time. In fact, Fancy had a bone the other day, and Dolly decided it was time to take it, and that did not end up well for Dolly. Okay, there we go. If I can hit it. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Learn how to manage wealth. Don't learn how to manage debt. Hey, get away. I'm going to kick you two. Oh, me and B abusing her dog by locking it in a Connex, and me threatening to kick the dogs. Hey, get away. Get away. Yeah, I don't like that. Throw some water on them. But, these two, they're pain in the butts. The Great Replacement Theory. But us Gen X's and boomers don't get it yet. But this, yeah. Well, I wish I knew at 25 what I know at 58, 57. Life would be completely different. The world would be a different place, you know. But somebody pointed out, uh, you know, uh, regret is something that will walk around with you forever if you let it. So we need to make sure that we're not carrying that stuff around like baggage. You know, it's okay to miss an opportunity, but you shouldn't regret it, right? Let's see. What you guys? Look, we're over an hour. We're over an hour. You guys got anything you want to talk about? Any news? Any call outs, shout outs for anybody? Uh, been a been a lot going on. There's a I don't know, you guys may have missed it, and this may be a little sciencey for some people, but there was an X 4.5 class solar flare on, well, it was yesterday, as a matter of fact. It was yesterday, and the spot on the sun where this came from is they're thinking that it's going to be more active this year than it's been in a while, just because it all runs in cycles. Um, this this solar flare did not hit the planet, but it came close enough that it disrupted communications yesterday. I really wish I had my ham radio up and running so I could have seen what it was like. But they're talking that over the next year or so that this may be an ongoing occurrence with these solar flares. And you know the SHTF prepper in me is like, yeah, this, all it takes is one of those to put us back in the 1800s in a heartbeat. Let's see. If I knew what I know now back then, I'd be be on a big catamaran in the Caribbean with a bunch of young hard bodies. Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I always wanted to go on a windjammer cruise, and I could never get Angela to do it. She always wanted to go on the big cruises. I just never wanted to do that. I spent enough time on a big boat. But I'd go on a windjammer. That'd be fun. That'd be the windjammers. I don't even know if they do them anymore. But the windjammers were the ones where you were actually part of the ship's crew and you actually worked on it. But they would advertise these things in adult magazines, if you get my drift. So they were, you worked, but there was pleasure involved, if you will. Love the big cats. Yeah. You pull your, what's the Waterworld? Kevin Costner. You're going to be Kevin Costner riding around on your post-apocalyptic catamaran. Oh, good night. So what else is going on with everybody? Anybody got any? I could listen. I could go into much more detail on the news this week, and there's a lot of stuff out there that would drive you nuts. I don't want to black pill you guys. I do not want to. Don't want to black pill you. I want to try to stay positive. We need to make sure that we're building community. That's what this is. Oh, wrong one. Lynn says I'm going to do a video on getting out of debt. It isn't something that I know a lot about. However, I know it's a big deal for a lot of people. You recommended Dave Ramsey. You know what? His snowball system. His snowball system. Um, I'm not going to say it's his. I shouldn't say it's his because it's something a lot of people do. He just marketed it way better than a lot of people. That and the Financial Peace University. That was, if you're a young couple trying to figure out how to get out of debt and start building wealth, the Financial Peace University is a pretty good starting place. You can find it. And I didn't say hi to ACM. How you guys doing? They're going to be at the festival. They better be at the festival. I just looked at a big 20-foot blue water not long ago. Needs complete makeover. About $2,800 ain't bad with a trailer. No. You gonna take that out on the lake? You know, I realize it's not blue water, but you take it out on the lake, or you gonna go down and go to the Gulf and do something down there, head off to the Caribbean. That was Angela was watching. She likes watching the Great Race, and they were in Barbados, and she's like, "Oh, I've been to that place, like the little eatery that they were at." She's like, "Oh, I've been to that place. I ate there when we stopped in there." And then she stops and she goes, "Yeah, that place isn't that nice. They cleaned up where the show was being filmed, pretty nice." But she said Barbados is not a place to visit because it's not very clean. Yeah, there you go. Yes, they will. Okay. HG, I learned a new word in the last couple of months. Rhizophagy. Apparently roots actually eat bacteria and some other details. Once again, turns out we didn't know what we thought we knew. Oh yeah. I heard of that concept. I didn't realize it was, I didn't know it was an actual word. Makes sense it's a word. I just never knew it. Rabbit's going to sell it and head down to the Gulf. Boat, bust out another 1,000. I love mine, but it ain't cheap to maintain. Dude, boats are just black holes that float around on the lake, and all you do is throw money into them. The happiest day of any boat owner's life is the day he buys the boat and the day he sells the boat. You know, and I'll be honest with you, down Lake of the Ozarks, that when we had a place down there, when we started out down there, we could take the little 16-foot Tom Sawyer out on the lake, no problem. Can't do that anymore. Those little 16-footers just do not survive out on the lake unless you're out there like in the off season when there's no other boats out there. One day I want to hit the Mississippi in a boat and go down to the Gulf. I don't know. Can you got to go through locks in a couple of places, like the chain of rocks there in outside of St. Louis. I know you got to take locks to get around that. Wisconsin, Minnesota area. Yeah, it's not quite as big up where you guys are. You just go down to the Dells, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Rabbit. There's times we'd be pulling into the dock. We had a slip that we used, and there was a bar. They put a bar in at the place we were at, so all these big boats would come in, and I could drive running right underneath their prows. They'd have their nose up over the top of us, and I could drive right underneath them. You know, but it got so bad. We were out there one night, went over to check on the boats because it was a Saturday and there was a lot of people there. And some jackhole, he didn't do it to my boat, but he did it to a friend of ours. We caught this guy cutting the rope on the boat, and he was going to push it out into the channel or into the cove so he could park his boat. And when we confronted him, the guy was like, "Hey, I need some place to park my boat, and you're not here." You know, it's just that type of mentality down there just ruined it. You know, and then the Corps engineers came in and were trimming up for some power lines that were going into new construction, and they just trimmed these trees and dropped everything right on top of my lot. So we go down there to open up the trailer. This is the last time we were down there. Go down there to open up the trailer, and there's 3 feet of limbs all over my lot. Yeah. Actually, we were down there. We were one cove. Well, we were at Deer Valley. We were up at Deer Valley, so we were mile marker. But the barbecue place is mile marker 3. I think we were up at mile marker 5. We were two coves up from the barbecue places there on the lake, the piggies or porkies or whatever they called it back then. Nah, I don't know. I don't know if you're talking to me. I don't understand a lot of stuff. I just wing it, fake it till you make it. You know, part of being successful is making people think you know what you're doing. You know, one thing I found out in the military, and this is the honest to God truth, if you had a clipboard and you acted like you were supposed to be there, you could do almost anything you wanted. Um, we we scammed so much and skated on so much stuff because we were traveling all over Okinawa working on equipment, and we just looked like we knew what we were doing, so we could go basically any place we wanted to. Yeah, yeah. The cove closer to the dam was where they built all those great big condos back in 97. No, it would have been 2002, maybe they built it. I don't remember last year we were down there. You know, but you know, yeah, there's a bunch of money down there now, and it just changed the whole. You know, when we first started going down there, it was a nice family area, and it just changed. You know, you had to deal with people smoking pot behind our trailer and stealing stuff, and just it was terrible. It was terrible, which is a real shame too, because the kids really enjoyed it, and it was nice getting away from the grind and going down there and just relaxing and doing some swimming and fishing and just hanging out around the campfire with our friends. You know, anybody that doesn't live near a lake, you've got your regular friends, and then you got your lake friends. And if you're lucky, your lake friends are people that travel down there from your regular friends. But even then, you meet people that become your lake friends. You know, let's see. The money is moving up the lake now. We ain't the quiet. Oh, that's a shame. At Gravely Mills, if you're ever at Lake of the Ozarks, Gravely Mills used to have some of the best fishing on the lake. But it was like right at the end of the lake, and it was all water that was only 10, 12 feet deep, and you catch all kinds of crappie, catch all kinds of crappie and all kinds of catfish and bass there. Just great. Yeah, we're going down there. Hutch? Oh no, not Stockton. He's at Pomme de Terre. I heard the Corps engineers getting kind of snobby about the lake there at Stockton, and they're starting to really crack down on people. Of course, it's secondhand knowledge. I don't know that for a fact, but I had some people that used that instead of going to Lake of the Ozarks, they went to Stockton because it wasn't as developed as what Lake of the Ozarks was. You know. All right, guys, listen. We've been at this for an hour and 17 minutes. I got some stuff I got to do. Um, like I said, build community, work on that food independence, and build those skills. Become modernly self-sufficient. Um, some of you guys don't live where you can have a great big. You don't have the property that we got. You may live in an apartment. May live on a suburban block or a lot. Um, you guys do as much as you can. Always trying to be moved forward. Building community. The community becomes way more important the smaller piece of property you got, because you're going to have to rely on other people. Not rely. That's not the right word. You're gonna have to leverage. You're gonna have to leverage other people in the event of something happening. So get out there and make community. Find some place like Midwest Preparedness Festival and go to it. If you're in Tennessee, go to Self Reliance Festival. If you're in Colorado, go to uh, the Colorado Expo. If you're in Kentucky Sustainable Living. These events are popping up all over the place. I think local preppers said that they still have 2 camping spots left open for prep stock in October. That one looks like it's going to be a good one. They this is the 4th year that they've done it, but it's the first year that they've really pushed it. Does that make any sense? If you're in Arkansas, go to Walmart. Oh wait, don't. Walmart down in Arkansas is kind of like Dollar General up here. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting one. You know. Not quite sure what that's about. Turning guns. We'll let it go. We'll let it go. Teach his own. Thanks, Phil. Try to, you guys make it all worthwhile. You guys, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be on here doing this and talking about this stuff because, a lot people that I have met through the online community have become friends in real life, and they become community members in real life, and this is what it's all about. And you guys make it all worthwhile, okay? And we need to lean on each other and help each other as best we can, even if we're not physically with each other. All right. Yes, I think Gregory or Susie. Go make it a wonderful week, and remember to smile. It makes people wonder what you're up to. All right, guys. Take care. I'm going to say it, even though Angela, come here. She's coming. Just yell out the door. She must have her hands full of dough. Oh, well, since she doesn't care enough about you guys to be here tonight, and I do, I'll say it for her. You guys need to be at least 1% better than you were today, yet tomorrow, and go out and live a life free. All right, take care.